Greetings fellow Decepticons, Soundblaster1987 here with another video game review. Today, tying in with the 2007 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles CGI movie, I'll be reviewing the Ubisoft and Focus Essential video game TMNT 2007. Now, this is a video game adaptation of the storyline from the 2007 movie, but there are a few deviations along the way. Such as in level 14, where Leonardo has to be rescued from the collapsing Foot Clan Ninja Temple instead of from Winter's Tower, which is where he was held hostage in the movie. So, I'll be going over the PC version of this game, since that's the version I've got and the one I grew up with, but feel free to comment down below if there are any differences between this and the Xbox or PlayStation or any other versions of the game that you grew up with or anything like that. So, all four of the Ninja Turtles are playable at different stages of the game. Master Splinter, April O'Neil and Casey Jones are non-playable but mentioned in cutscene dialogue, and Master Splinter is the tutorial narrator for the first few levels, teaching you how to use certain techniques and whatnot, mostly the sort of ninja technique skills of wall running, ledge climbing, etc., and how the family bond attack techniques work, which I'll go over in a moment. So, yes, levels 1 and 5 focus on Leonardo's Ghost of the Jungle persona from his training in the South American jungle, fighting off a dictatorial militia that had taken over a nearby village. And it's during this storyline that Leonardo learns that an ancient South American talisman that Master Splinter hid in the temple in the jungle can give Leonardo the ability to phase through glowing blue barriers as part of his character in the game later on. This was something that was left out of the movie, but it's a special ability Leonardo has in the game just to give the player more to do. Michelangelo has the ability to hover over short gaps with his nunchucks like a helicopter, and this is mostly showcased in level 4, where he's the Cowabunga Carl children's birthday party entertainment persona that he puts on by wearing a giant helmet and gluing a zip to his shell to make it look like he's just a costume, not an actual mutant. And level 3 focuses on Donatello and his research into the, primitive sewer-dwelling high-tech criminal group known as the Black Gators, who I'll discuss later. And level 2 is where we first meet Raphael's metal armored alter ego, the Nightwatcher. He has a slightly different attack pattern to the rest of the turtles, which I'll cover in a moment. So, the basic attack combo for the turtles is using the letter Z key on the keyboard of a PC computer. Press the Z button repeatedly for a combo of different attack moves, or press and hold for a couple of seconds then release for a super speed dash attack that hits every enemy on screen. Released every enemy within a reasonable radius during combat. Holding down the X button and releasing it will charge up a complex series of kick spheres designed to push away enemies that get too close for comfort. The C button is required for blocking incoming attacks like Wonder Woman's bulletproof bracelets, and if you hold the C button and use the arrow keys at the same time, it can roll out of the way of incoming attacks. The C button, when used outside of the battlefield, is also how you use the turtles' individual abilities. So, Leonardo can pass through glowing blue barriers with the South American talisman. Raphael and the Nightwatcher can climb glowing red walls with their sign like mountaineering ice picks. Michelangelo can fly over short gaps with his nunchucks if you hold the C button in the middle of a double jump while still moving forward with the arrow keys. And if you hold the C button as Donatello, he'll use his bow staff to pole vault over a, low ceiling gap that you can't jump over. This is especially useful in levels 3 and 10, where you're in the sewers and there's a load of pipes and other such low ceilings blocking your attempt to jump over the gaps. Then, of course, there's a group of different types of enemies in this game. There's the Purple Dragon Street Thugs from a 2003 cartoon, adapted for the movie, just to give the player more enemies to fight. There's 3 different types of purple dragons in this game. There's the baseball bat dragons, which just lumber around with a baseball bat like an average street thug. There's the lead pipe dragons, which take a running swing at you from behind with a lead pipe if you stand still too long, so watch out for that in battle. And then there's the Afro Dragon, specifically based on one of the, generic background purple dragon character models from a 2003 cartoon. These guys just stand around in doorways flinging acid bottles everywhere. If you dodge out of the way of the acid bottles, they leave a corrosive stain on the floor, which, if timed correctly, could potentially cause injury to the bat and pipe type dragons when they're coming towards you from another direction. And they dance around like their feet are on fire if they step on the acid, so that could potentially be useful in battle if you get the chance. Also, Michelangelo's attack combo, if you press the Z button often enough, ends up turning into breakdancing with the nunchucks, including a moment where he spins on the back of his shell like a breakdancer, which can cause sort of spinning top type damage to multiple enemies nearby if needed. Then, of course, in levels where you can play as multiple turtles, pressing the Alt button in the bottom left corner of the keyboard will allow you to switch from one turtle to another. Pressing this button in the middle of a jump will cause a team throw technique that will allow you to go over longer gaps. Gaps that are too long for a normal double jump or Michelangelo's helicopter technique. If you press and hold the Alt button in the middle of battle, it will initiate the Turtles' Family Bond team-up attacks. Leonardo and Michelangelo will do a Shell Slam ground pound attack. Michelangelo will spin Donatello repeatedly into the opponents like a spinning top. Donatello and Raphael will use Donatello's bow staff like a lightning rod to electrocute and stun all enemies, leaving them dazed for a few seconds. And Raphael will take 2 spins to gain momentum and then throw Leonardo. Hit even once by enemies, you'll end up with complete loss of focus and you'll lose your star count and have to start again. Even in frenzy mode, you're not completely invulnerable. Going back to the enemies, there's 2 types of Black Gator Street Thugs. There's the crowbar type and the electrified cattle prod type. So watch out for these 2. In levels 3 and 12, I think it was. It's been a while since I played the game. Then there's the Foot Clan, the most famous of the Ninja Turtles enemies. There's 4 types of foot ninjas to watch out for. The Bronze Foot are just normal sword ninjas. They're the easiest to defeat. The Silverfoot have got a long pike or halberd type weapon which they can either stab you with from behind when you're not looking, or if you get too close to them, they'll shove the shaft of the pike sideways into you like a push bar to keep you at arm's length. Both of these will cause hit damage and reduce your attack combo. Then the Goldfoot are the archery experts. Watch out for these ones because their arrows fly almost too fast to dodge out of, and if you get too close to them they'll do a spinning Tommy Oliver roundhouse kick to knock you away, which also causes hit damage. Then there's the Blackfoot. The Blackfoot ninjas are unit commanders and they can summon free Swordfoot in a puff of smoke by whistling. They can also fling shurikens around between every Swordfoot summon, and they also have the Goldfoot spinning roundhouse kick defense at point blank range, so don't get too close to them either. Your best bet with this one is to use either the dash attacks or Donatello's bow staff if you can, to get past the close quarters combat distance, with Donatello's 7-foot bow staff being a good melee weapon for long range attacks. And you've got to be extremely mindful, especially when fighting the foot or the purple dragons, that either getting swung at from behind by the purple dragon's lead pipe or shoved with a pike by the foot ninjas will prevent you from accessing the family attack. If you try to press and hold the Alt button when you're surrounded by enemies, one hit and you'll end up having to restart the attack combo from the beginning. Finally, there's the boss fights. There's the 4 stone generals for the main villains of the movie, and also the Yeti monster from the construction site battle in level 8. Or was it level 7? No, that's right. Level 7 the Ninja Turtles face the Yeti monster. Level 8 the Nightwatcher goes out alone to trace the mysterious garbage truck that took away the Yeti monster after the fight. Nightwatcher's attack patterns are slightly different. He has the same moveset as Raphael, but his attack combo system is slightly different. because at the top right of the screen you'll see a power gauge with Raphael's sign on one end of it. This is Nightwatcher's anger meter. The more you kill enemies in the levels, the more it'll fill up the anger gauge. And if you press the alt button once the sign is glowing at the end of the power meter, it'll cause a kill all anger explosion similar to something the Hulk would do. That triggers the frenzy mode. However, instead of maintaining the frenzy mode by killing more with each one-hit kill combo, Raphael's, Nightwatcher's frenzy mode one-hit kills will drain the anger gauge faster. The anger meter also drains slowly over time when you're not in battle with Nightwatcher. But when Nightwatcher was unmasked in level 13, Raphael reversed to his normal 10 stars attack pattern despite wearing the armor. I almost forgot to mention that you have to use the spacebar to jump, twice to double jump in this game. And obviously I've already gone over the other controls. And also, if you get knocked out, you have to mash the spacebar repeatedly to get back up again. The same applies if you end up choking on radioactive waste or sewage, or if you get caught point blank range with General Serpiente's poison gas breath during her boss fights in levels 13 and 16. There are 16 total levels to this game, some of which focus on more individual turtles than others, but most of them are team-ups between the four of them to practice the family bond attack techniques. There's also 5 shell coins in the game that you can unlock with each level, but to collect them you have to go back through a completed level and relocate them. There's also a grade that you get at the end of every level, like in the Sonic the Hedgehog games. If you get an A or A plus rank at the end of a level, then you unlock a challenge map in the bonus menu, which gives you the chance to hone your skills and earn 3 more shell coins. There's also additional bonuses like weekend weapons and funny costumes to humiliate the bad guys with. The Foot Clan wear silly hats, the Black Gators wear clown shoes and diving flippers, the Purple Dragons end up looking like ballerinas. It doesn't affect the boss fights, but, it makes the goons look stupid, which obviously is fun to watch. The weekend weapons replaces Leonardo's swords with yardsticks, Raphael's scythe with spatulas, Donatello's bow staff with a broom, and Michelangelo's nunchucks with sausages, possibly a reference to the shopping mall fight from the start of Secret of the Ooze, the live-action sequel. Since the 2007 movie is supposed to be the 4th sequel to the live-action trilogy of the 90s. But yes, going back to the Stone Generals for a moment, General Gatto appears in levels 3 and 16, and he requires Donatello's family bond attack to finish off. He can throw shurikens and strike out of nowhere with lightning speed, and he can also dodge your attacks as well, so Donatello's long bow staff is your only chance of getting any melee hits on this guy. General Serpiente requires Michelangelo's special attack, and she appears in level 13 as well, but she was just a diversion for the Foot Clan to kidnap Leonardo during his argument with Raphael in the earlier part of the level. The fight that Nightwatcher had with a small monster of a dino was left out of the level because Raphael, as Nightwatcher, got to the dino at the end of level 12, when his fight with the monster was a bonus video cutscene you could unlock later in the game, as was seen in the actual movie itself. General Mono has a giant hammer that can cause seismic shockwaves that can knock you over if you end up touching them on the battlefield, and he requires Raphael's family bond attack to finish off. And finally, General Aguila only appears in the final boss fight at level 16, and he requires all 4 family bond attacks in sequence, finishing off with Leonardo's to destroy him once and for all. So, that said, I've been SoundBlaster1987, thanks again. I'm sorry about the length of this video, but with this being a more complex video game, there was a lot more to cover than the Shadow the Hedgehog and Sonic Adventure 2 games I've covered previously. My next video game review in January 2025 will be LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. Till then, my next toy review will be Transformers 5 The Last Night, Turbo Changer Armored Grimlock. Till then, till all on one. Cowabunga, dudes!